So in this video we'll see the anonymize feature of Orthanc tools, and so we started with our selection of patients, and this is the anonymize type where I'm going to select patient or studies into my anonymization batch. So let's look at the settings. We can define a center code, which is the default label name and ID if I don't want to define a patient-specific name or anonymized ID. You will see just later. And there we have the anonymized profile. The default profile is made for nuclear medicine, so it keeps body characteristics like patient weight that are useful in nuclear medicine, date of acquisition, date of injection of tracer. It removes the birth date, it removes the private tags of the manufacturer, it recognizes automatically and removes the secondary capture where you can find the patient name hard printed, and it will just remove this secondary capture series, and it will keep the series and study description value like series name or study description value. But you can choose another profile like full queuing that clear everything according to the NEMA recommendation, and you can also make your own anonymization profile, choosing to keep, for example, only body characteristic or whatever you want in this settings. So I'm going to use the default profile, and so I can add everything I want in my anonymization batch, and I can choose whatever I want for a name, for a test, and ID. I'm going to give ID 1, and I can also modify if I want my study description, like hello. Okay, if I do not define any new name or new ID, the software will generate for me. So I can click on the anonymize, and you see here it anonymized the test. I defined test and 1. This is my anonymized value, and for the study I didn't define any name or new ID. The software generates automatically for me, and this is my center code with number 1, and if it had several studies, it will increment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And this is patient ID code based on the date of the anonymization. So I can choose either to make my own definition of the anonymized ID and patient name, or I can let the software do it for me. So once I have anonymized, software show me the export tab. So basically, if I anonymized some DICOM, is probably because I want to send them somewhere. I can send them to another IoT. I can use the Orthanc pair protocol to send to another Orthanc server. I can choose to generate a zip with the anonymized DICOM. And I can also choose to send them to another server like FTP, and we support FTP and WebDAV protocol. For example, I can use FTP at test.com and show 21 port test. And when I defined a protocol, I have this remote server button appearing, and this will send all my DICOMs to the defined FTP, SFTP or WebDAV protocol. Last, this is the CSV report. The CSV report is a file that tracks the history of the anonymization. So it's a sensitive file because it gives the real identity, the original identity of the anonymization, but it helps you to track the anonymization process and recover from the anonymized name the real patient name. So basically, if it is made to store the key of anonymization. So this is something that you probably want to keep locally. So this why it is not sent to other export protocol, but something you can store in your hard disk to keep the key of anonymization. So this is a regular CSV file. I just have to tell Excel that it is a CSV file, and then I see my old patient name, my old patient ID, my new patient name, etc., my old study date or the new study description, and I see here the number of series that contain the study, the number of instance, the size on the hard disk, and the study instance UID, which is a unique key to identify DICOM at the study level. So that's all for the anonymization. Just to mention, the anonymization is based on the NEMA anonymization recommendation. It anonymizes over 200 of tags that could be involved in patient identification. So it's not just a modification of some tags. It's a full rewriting of DICOM taking account of more than 200 DICOM tags that could compromise patient identification.